Welcome to Shoot Shit with DSP. It's STS time. I'm David Scott Peters, aka DSP. Now, it is July 3rd, a Friday morning before 4th of July weekend. Those of you who are in season are preparing for what is going to be a crazy, wonderful sales weekend. Those of you who are out of season, well, hopefully you're closed and you're going to spend some time with your family. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be dead honest with you. I have low expectations on how many you're going to be with me live today. I've closed my office. In fact, my team has off today. One of which is one of my lead coaches, David Militello, who's got 3 restaurants in season, summertime, craziness. I wouldn't expect him anyway. I've got Mary on vacation. I got Steve on vacation. I've got Jenny, Jenny is probably working her ass off still, or maybe taking some time off. The member mentors have restaurants to run. It's me. It's just me, but I was committed that I'm going to deliver STS because I was not traveling. Last week I was traveling. I had a race, a regional race in Northwest Regionals in Oregon. Came away 6 events with 3 golds, 1 silver, 2 bronze. I can tell you 1 bronze medal was an incredible accomplishment. Feel really proud of it. Another one was a bit of a disappointment. What are you going to do? I thought we'd do better, but c'est la vie. Now, we have, looks like at least one person has joined me because it's technically not a holiday for you, Daniel. Daniel, hey, DSP, I'm here, my friend. I appreciate you. I have somebody to talk to. That's important to me, that I can have somebody to talk to. I am going to get us started here because, again, my expectations are low on who we're going to get coming here today because it is a holiday here in the States. Let's get going. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. STS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming week and get excited about crushing your goals and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm David Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula and your coach. And for those of you who are joining me now, make sure you are logged into your Google account, your YouTube account, synonymously the same thing, so you can participate in the chat because when I'm done with my portion, I answer your questions. Let's get started. Today, I want to talk about one of the most important pieces of equipment you'll ever buy in your restaurant. And no, I'm not talking about your oven. I'm not talking about your walk-in. I'm not talking about your fryer, your grill, your hood, or that espresso machine somebody convinced you was going to change your life. I'm talking about your POS system, your point of sale. And here's the problem. Most restaurant pros use their POS like an expensive cash register. That's it. Ring in orders, take payments, print checks, close the day, done. But that is not where the real power is. The real power of your POS system is in the reports, the numbers, the trends, the information, the story it tells you about what is actually happening in your restaurant. And when you use those reports correctly, your POS system can help you move your restaurant from reactive management team to proactive management team. That's the key. Reactive management waits until there's a problem. Food cost is high. Labor is high. Cash is missing. The kitchen is getting crushed. Sales are down. Comps are climbing. Voids look weird. Then everyone runs around asking what happened. That's reactive. And reactive management is expensive. Proactive management sees the signs early. It sees the trends, it sees the gaps, it sees the behavior. It sees the numbers before they punch you in the face on your P&L. That's what your POS reports can do for you. Much like a budget, your reports give you a way to stop guessing. That's the topic today. Stop guessing. Use these reports to run the restaurant. Now, I want to talk through a few reports every restaurant pro should understand. The names may be different depending on your POS system. That's important. Toast may call it one thing. Square may call it something else. Aloha, Micros, PosiTouch, Clover, Spot On, Lightspeed, Heartland, whatever system you're using, the names may vary, but the information is usually there somewhere. Your job is to find it. And more importantly, your job is to use it. Let's start with the daily sales report. In some systems, this may be called the end of day report. This one is one of the most important reports in your restaurant. And most people look at it only to see how much money came in. That's a mistake. The daily sales report is not just a sales number. It gives you your financial heartbeat of the day. It can show you sales by category: food sales, bottled beer, draft beer, wine, liquor, retail if you have it, catering if you track it separately. Whatever categories matter in your restaurant. It also shows up, well, what your comps were. It shows tax collected. It shows tips collected. It shows house accounts. It shows paid outs. It shows how the money came in. Cash, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, other credit cards, gift cards, house accounts, third-party payments, whatever payment method you accept. This report tells you what happened financially inside the business that day. And the first major reason this report matters is cash control. The daily sales report allows you to make sure the cash makes it to the bank. That sounds obvious. It's not. It is amazing how many restaurant pros do not have a clean process for verifying that the cash collected is in the restaurant, from that restaurant, actually makes it to the bank account. Your POS says how much cash should have been collected. Your deposits say how much cash was prepared. Your bank account shows you how much cash actually landed. Those numbers should match. And if they don't match, you need to know why. This is not about paranoia. This is about control, because cash has a funny way of growing legs when nobody is watching it. Your daily sales report tells you, well, compare what should have happened to what actually happened. The second reason this report matters is over short tracking. If the drawer is over or short, you need to see that quickly. Not once a month, not when your bookkeeper finally says, let's ask some questions. Not when you get that weird feeling that something's off. Quickly. Over and shorts tell you whether your team is handling cash properly. They also tell you whether there might be some funny business going on. Sometimes it's a training issue. Sometimes it's sloppy cash handling. Sometimes it's a manager who doesn't understand the closeout procedure. And sometimes, yes, it is theft. But you cannot fix what you do not see. And if you cannot see, if nobody is reviewing the report. The third reason the daily sales report matters is that it feeds your other systems. This is a big one. Your daily sales report gives you the gross sales number you need for other controls. Your food sales help you calculate your food cost. Your bottled beer sales help you calculate your bottled beer cost. Your draft sales help you calculate your draft beer cost. Your wine sales help you calculate your wine cost. Your liquor sales help you calculate your liquor cost. Your sales numbers help you calculate your labor cost. You can look at these numbers by the day, by week, by period, by month. That is why many restaurant pros I coach transfer this information into a spreadsheet. Not because they love spreadsheets and want to make life more annoying. Nobody needs another spreadsheet that's just there for decoration. The reason you transfer the numbers is to make sure everything matches. POS to deposit, POS to bank, POS to your tracking systems, POS to your budget, POS to your food and beverage controls, POS to your labor controls. The daily sales report is not just a report. It's a foundation. It sets up your systems. And if that report is ignored, incomplete, or not reviewed, you're building on sand. The next report is the daily labor report. Now, again, your POS or scheduling system may call it something completely different. It might be called a labor summary. It might be inside your time clock report. It might be a part of your half-hour sales report. It might be a part of your hour-by-hour sales report. The name does not matter. The information matters. What you're looking for is labor against sales. At minimum, I want to know who is clocked in. I want to know how many people are on the clock at the time that I'm looking at the report. Any certain time, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., it does not matter. I want to know how much labor has been spent so far. I want to know how that labor compares to sales. I want to know where I'm headed before the day gets away from me. This report allows a manager or owner to run it during the day and see where labor cost is trending. Think about that. You don't have to wait until the end of the week to find out labor was high. You don't have to wait until payroll is processed. You don't have to wait until the P&L shows up like a nasty little invoice for poor management. You can see it during the shift. If it's 2 p.m. and lunch was slower than expected, the report can tell you whether, you're carrying too many hours. If it's 7 p.m. and the dinner rush has not started, the report can help you decide whether to cut someone, delay someone, or adjust the shift. If sales are stronger than expected, it can help you decide whether you need to hold people longer. This is proactive management. This is not guessing. You are not managing by vibes. You are not saying it feels slow. Feelings are cute. Numbers are better. A daily labor report gives your managers a running labor cost target. It tells them whether they're on track or veering off budget. And when they know where they stand, they can make decisions. That is what management is, making decisions before the damage is done. This report also helps you look at efficiencies. You can go backward and calculate dollars per labor hour worked. You have sales, you have hours worked. Now you can calculate how much revenue you generated for every labor hour. That's powerful because labor percentages alone don't tell the whole story. Dollars per labor hour worked helps you understand productivity. And you're getting, and I should say, are you getting enough sales for the hours you are spending? Are certain shifts more efficient than others? Are certain managers better at controlling labor? Are certain day parts overstaffed? Are you scheduled based on habit instead of sales patterns? The daily labor report gives you answers, or at least it gives you the questions you should be asking. And that matters because bad labor cost is not usually one giant mistake. It is death by 1,000 little lazy decisions. Someone clocks in early, someone stays late, a manager gets nervous about, and leaves too many people on. A cook is standing around because nobody has been trained to cut labor. Servers are rolling silverware at the speed of a government committee. And then everyone acts surprised when labor is high. No, you do not get to be surprised by something you refuse to inspect. The next report is the PMix report, product mix, item by item sales mix. Again, it may be named differently in your POS system, but this report shows what your customers actually purchased. Not what you think they purchased, not what your chef thinks is popular, not what your loudest server swears everybody loves, what your customers actually bought. This is one of the most powerful reports you have, and most restaurants barely use it. The PMix report allows you to calculate your ideal food cost. That alone makes it worth learning. Ideal food cost is what your food cost should be based on what your customers actually purchased, really what you sold, and what those items cost to make. Actual food cost is what really happened. The gap between ideal and actual tells you how your kitchen is performing. That gap can reveal waste. It can reveal theft. It can reveal overportioning. It can reveal poor prep. It can reveal bad ordering. It can reveal recipe costing cards that are wrong. It can reveal menu items that are being made inconsistently. Without the PMix report, you're guessing. With the PMix report, you can start measuring, and measurement changes everything. The PMix report also helps with menu engineering. You can look at what sells and what does not sell. You can look at which items are popular. You can look at which items are profitable. You can look at which items are creating operational headaches. Sometimes an item sells well, but destroys your food cost. Sometimes an item has a great food cost, but nobody buys it. Sometimes an item looks good on paper, but crushes one station on Friday and Saturday night. That matters because your menu is is not just a list of things you sell. Your menu is an operational plan. It affects food costs. It affects labor costs. It affects ticket times. It affects prep. It affects station load. It affects guest experience. The PMIX report can show you which stations are getting crushed. If one station is consistently buried while another station has capacity, you may have a menu engineering problem. Maybe you need to move attention on the menu. Maybe you need to reposition items. Maybe you need to remove items. Maybe you need to reprice items. Maybe you need to redesign how items are built. Maybe you need to create specials that move demand to a different station. That is the kind of thinking that separates restaurant pros who run the business from those who react to whatever chaos walks in the door. The PMIX report also helps you compare ideal cost to your budgeted target. That is huge. Think about it this way. Let's say your budget should be a 28% food cost. But based on your menu mix, your ideal food cost is 32%. Now we have a problem. Your team may execute perfectly and still miss target because why? The menu itself cannot achieve the budget. That is not a kitchen problem. That is a menu engineering problem. That is a pricing problem. That is a recipe costing problem. That is a management problem. The PMIX report helps you find it. And that is why it may be one of the most powerful reports in the entire POS system. Next, let's talk about the no sale report. A no sale means the drawer opened without a sale being completed. Is every no sale theft? No. Sometimes somebody needs change. Sometimes a manager is checking the drawer. Sometimes there's a legitimate reason. But here is the question, do you know? Because I'm sure it's fine is not a control. The no sale report helps you see how often the drawer is being opened. Who is opening it? When it's being opened? Which shifts have the most no sales? Which employees show up repeatedly? Which managers are on duty when it happens? If you see patterns, you need to ask a question. Not accusations, questions. Why did this drawer open? Who approved it? What was the reason? Was it documented? Is this normal? Should this be happening? No sale reports can prevent theft. They can also show you that theft has already happened. But even when it's not theft, they show you your weakness in cash control. And weak cash control is an invitation. You may have honest people. Great. Controls still matter. Controls protect honest people. Controls create standards. Controls make it harder for someone to make a bad decision. Next is the transfer report. Transfers happen when a check is moved or an item is moved. Maybe a guest starts at the bar and moves to a table. Maybe one server takes over another server's table. Maybe a manager has to clean up a mistake. There are legitimate reasons for transfers. But transfers can also be used to hide things. Checks can be moved around. Items can be shifted. Sales, can become harder to track. Responsibility can get fuzzy. And when responsibility gets fuzzy, accountability disappears into the fog. The transfer report helps you see patterns. Who is transferring checks? How often? During what shifts? Under which managers? With what explanation? Again, this is not about assuming everybody is stealing. It is about making sure the business has controls. A transfer without a clear reason should get your attention. Repeated transfers from the same person should get your attention. A pattern of transfers on a busy night should get your attention. The report tells you where to look. The next report is the void report. Voids are another big one. A void means something was entered and removed. Sometimes that is completely legitimate. Wrong button. Guests changed their mind. Server made a mistake. Kitchen ran out. Manager corrected a check. Fine. But excessive voids are not fine. Voids without explanation are not fine. Voids after food or drink have been made are not fine. Voids concentrated around one employee, one shift, one manager are not fine. The void report can show theft. It can also show training problems. It can show poor menu knowledge. It can show servers who are making too many mistakes. It can show managers approving things without paying attention. It can show kitchen communication issues. The point is not to look at a void report and assume the worst. The point is to look at it and ask better questions. That's the whole theme here. Reports help you ask better questions. They do not manage the restaurant for you. They do not fix food costs. They do not cut labor. They do not make the cash deposit. They do not re-engineer the menu. They do not train your staff. They do not hold anyone accountable. You still have to manage. But reports give you the information you need to manage intelligently. Without reports, you are guessing, and guessing is expensive. Guessing is how you end up saying things like, I think labor was high because, we were busy. I think food cost is high because, prices went up. I think the kitchen is overportioning. I think the bartenders are giving away drinks. I think the menu is fine. I think cash is being handled properly. Maybe not. Your POS has the receipts, literally. The POS system knows what happened. It knows what was sold. It knows what was comped. It knows what was voided. It knows when the cash drawer opened. It knows how payments came in. It knows who was clocked in. It knows how sales moved through the day. It knows what guests bought. The question is, are you looking? Because if you're not looking, then you're not really managing. You're hoping. And hope is a terrible operating system. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying you need to review every report every day forever and turn yourself into a spreadsheet troll living under a cave of thermal paper. That is not the point. The point is rhythm. The point is management habits. The point is knowing which reports answer which questions. Cash controls? Well, daily sales report. Over in shorts? Daily sales report. Sales by category? Daily sales report. Food, beer, wine, and liquor cost tracking? Daily sales report. Labor trending during the shift? Daily labor report or half-hour sales report. Productivity? Labor report and dollars per labor hour worked. Menu performance? PMIX report. Ideal food cost? PMIX report. Ideal versus actual food cost? PMIX reports plus inventory and purchases. Theft prevention, no sale transfers and voids. Training issues, voids, comps, and PMIX can all help. Operational bottlenecks, PMIX and station performance. The reports are not random. Each one gives you a window into a different part of the business. But the report only matters if it leads to action. The report sitting unread in your POS system is useless. It's like owning a treadmill and using it to hang laundry. Technically, you own the tool. Congratulations. You are still not getting the benefit. So here is the management habit I want you to build. Review one report, ask what it's telling you. Look for patterns. Then have a conversation. Not a blow up, not a lecture, not a courtroom drama. A conversation. I reviewed the daily sales report. Help me understand this cash shortage. I reviewed the labor report. Why were we still carrying 5 people at 2:30? I reviewed the PMIX report. Why are we pushing an item that is hurting our food cost? I reviewed the no sale report. Why did the drawer open this many times? I reviewed the transfer report. Why are so many checks being moved on Friday night? I reviewed the void report. Why are these voids happening after items are made? That sentence is powerful. I reviewed the report Help me understand this. I reviewed the report. Help me understand this. That tells your team you are paying attention. It also keeps you from walking in like a manic, or I should say a maniac, and accuse everyone of crimes against profitability. Ask, listen, verify, coach, correct. That is leadership. Here is the hard truth. Your team learns what matters by what you inspect, not what you complain about, not what you mentioned once during a manager meeting, not what you say you care about, not any of those things. It's what you inspect. If you never review a labor report, your managers learn labor is optional. If you never review the daily sales report, your team learns cash controls is loose. If you never review PMIX report, your menu decisions become opinions. If you never review no sale, transfer, and voids, your control becomes wishes. And wishes do not protect profits. Reports do, when you use them. Now, for this week, keep it simple. Don't try to master every report in your POS system by Monday morning. That's how restaurant pros overwhelm themselves and then go back to doing nothing. Pick one report, just one. Daily sales report, daily labor report, PMIX report, no sale report, transfer report, void report. Pick one. Review it every day for this week. That's your Monday action. Pick one report for the week and review it every day. You don't need to know what you're looking for before you look. You will not know what you see until you see it. That's the point. Maybe you'll find, cash shortage. Maybe you'll find a labor drifting out of control. Maybe you'll find a menu item killing your food costs. Maybe you'll find too many voids from one employee. Maybe you'll find a manager who is not documenting transfers. Maybe you'll find another dramatic, but I should say nothing dramatic, but you'll learn how the report works. Good. That is still progress, because every time you review a report, you get smarter about your restaurant. And when you get smarter about your restaurant, you'll make better decisions. Better decisions create better habits. Better habits create better margins, better managers. Better managers create better numbers. And better numbers create freedom you're trying to build. Your POS is not an expensive cash register. It is one of the most powerful management tools in your restaurant. Use it that way. Stop guessing, start looking. That's it for my portion of STS with DSP. Now it's time for your questions. Let's see who's joined me on July 3rd. Did we gain more people? Let's see, Daniel replied earlier, kick ass. You did it, my friend. Told you. Oh, thank you for my medals. Yeah, it was great. Carlos Z's in the house. Good morning, DSP. Good morning to you, Carlos. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm going to check this other page. We have a bunch of you on here still. I really appreciate the fact that you have joined me on July 3rd. Again, I started off thinking we may not have a lot of participation because of that. I've only got 2 of you talking to me right now, but my portion went pretty long. I do want to let people know, if you're watching this now live or recorded, I put up the QR code there that you can scan and get on a Profit Finder call with Ryan James. We can learn more about your business, let you know what we do, see if there's a possible fit. But now is the time for your questions. I've kind of taken up our half hour with a long teaching portion, but let's see what you've got here. I will stay a little bit longer. Mother's Cantina, I'm going to assume that is Ryan James, one person on my team that is working today. Good morning. Happy birthday, America. So I just want to know, Ryan, are you wearing your red, white, and blue suit today? And are you just thrilled with all the sales walking into your summer season restaurant location? Because this is the Super Bowl, right? This is the Super Bowl. Hope things are going well, my friend. Does not look like we have questions. I do want to let you know, I'll double check. I believe I have an STS next week that I am not traveling. It's the week after. Let's see here. Yep, there will be a Shoot the Shit on Friday the 10th. There will not be a Shoot the Shit Friday the 17th. I will actually be in Michigan for Masters Nationals. I've got another 4-day race there. I've got a bunch of races I've got. Hopefully we will kick some ass there. Yeah. I'm sorry. Ryan reminded me 4th of July is tomorrow. Yeah, but today's Friday. People are driving. You're going to have a late night push, I hope. Anyway, know that I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you enjoy the STS conversations we have on Fridays. I do this for you. Bring your questions. Again, today, didn't expect a lot of participation, but I'm here for you. The content is here. You can watch it recorded. Go out there, kick some ass, everybody. We'll see you next week, right here live on YouTube with STS with DSP. Peace.